93.7 The Ticket.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers.
I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Saturday morning, or almost afternoon here in the capital city of Lincoln, Nebraska. Saturday, January 31st, 2026. Nick Whyman with you for 1 hour here on Ticket Weekends. Been a stacked morning so far. Business Builders with Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson, as obviously they are an all-star team as they filled in for the first hour after Husker Online show from 8 to 9. They were from 9 to 10. Todd Euler out and about. He is in sunny Orlando. It is around 60 degrees there in Orlando. He was not able to call in or FaceTime in, basically, but he's in sunny Orlando, which he was telling everybody it was like 60 degrees there, which is the equivalent of 10 degrees in the Midwest. So if you're in Florida and you're wearing a jacket or a heavy coat and it's 59 degrees in the morning down there, that is uncharted territory for them. But for us, 59 degrees, you'll probably catch me in shorts walking down the side of O Street down here. But it is not 59 degrees here in Lincoln. It is freezing. Feels like negative temperatures when I made my quick little drive over here down here at the 1040 O Street, and it was cold. But you'll be with me until noon here on this Saturday. 402-464-5685, Sauter Heyman Jewelers text line. Let's chat. I mean, you and me, I'm with you for an hour. We can talk about anything. It's a big weekend of sports in general. No NFL, obviously, with the AFC NFC championship games being played last week. So there is no NFL for the first time in weeks. The season goes by so fast. I feel like couple weeks ago, we were just talking about the Eagles and the Cowboys opening up the season on Thursday Night Football, week 1, and then the Ravens and the Bills and that crazy comeback that the Bills had on the Ravens just a couple weeks ago. But no, that was week 1. That was months ago. It feels like that was just yesterday. It's crazy how fast time flies in the world, not just in sports, but in the world. And here we are. You're with me here for another a little bit under an hour now. 402-464-5685. Let's start with Husker sports. I was on Thursday night on Late Night in Lincoln and talked about the stacked week of Nebraska athletics. I mean, we can start with yesterday. Yesterday was a very stacked day. Obviously, Nebraska bowling is down there in St. Louis, Missouri at the Columbia 300 Saints Invite. That's going on. Started yesterday during the day and will be going on today on Saturday and wrapping up play on February 1st. Tomorrow down in St. Louis. Rifle has took the field this morning. They're up against Jack State. That started at 8 o'clock. It's a busy day. Today's kind of the gymnastics gets the spotlight, you could say, as men's gymnastic took the trip down to Columbus, Ohio, as they are facing the Buckeyes at 1 o'clock, which will be in under 2 hours from now. Ohio State, Nebraska men's gymnastics. And then at 3 o'clock, just down the road, Nebraska is facing Ohio State in women's gymnastics. That starts at 3 o'clock over at the Bob Devaney Sports Center today. Saturday, 3 o'clock, Nebraska and Ohio State women's gymnastics. That is kind of the headlining event for today. But there's a lot that's happened in the last 24 hours, and there's a lot that's going to be happening in the next 24 hours here in Huskerland. First off, wrestling. Nebraska obviously coming off dual losses after it was a stacked weekend for them a week ago. They had to face Iowa on Friday, which Iowa's ranked top 10 as well. And then you had to go up against Ohio State, who's number 2 in the nation, and lost by 1 point to them, 17-16 duel. So Nebraska came off those two duels with losses. Nebraska's still ranked number 6 entering the week in wrestling. They come in, and Nebraska faces Penn State. Bob Harms on Facebook challenge, who won Penn State wrestling against Nebraska. So that was last night. Nebraska faced number 1 Penn State. That's basically a great transition to what I'm going into here. As I said, number 6 Nebraska faced number 1 Penn State down there at University Park. Despite winning 3 bouts in a pin from Brock Hardy, Nebraska fell to the Nittany Lions. 26-12 was the final in that duel between number 1 Penn State and number 6 Nebraska at the Bryce Jordan Center up there. I mean, even Penn State is legit. They are a really good team. Like, they have so many guys ranked number 1 in their lineup that they're just so complete as a whole. There's a reason they're number 1. And they've won, coming into this duel, they were shutting out teams in the Big Ten play. Faced Indiana didn't score a single point on them. They're all as advertised, and there's a reason for that. So it was 26-12 in that duel. Brock Hardy, Taylor, and Ferrari all won their matches. Those are the 3 victories, but Penn State are just as advertised. Really good all-star team, essentially. That's the 83rd straight dual victory for Penn State. 83. That is hard to put in the words how hard that is to do. In sports in general, like in basketball, you see teams, for example, UConn women's basketball had a streak going for a while where they were winning a lot. South Carolina women's basketball in recent history had a streak of winning game after game after game. But in wrestling, 83 is a lot of duels. And they have won 83 straight. Nebraska scoring 12 points in this duel against Penn State are the most by an opponent of the Nittany Lions this year. Before that, the most points put up in a duel against Penn State was 7, and that was by Wyoming way back earlier in the season. So even in a loss, you were able to be the most competitive team against Penn State this year, because Iowa faced them earlier, and Iowa had no shot. And Penn State wrestling is good. They, me and Harrison were looking over the previews Thursday night going into Friday, and there was just, everybody was ranked number 1 or inside the top 5. There were a couple in the 12 region, but everybody's ranked. But it is a difficult, to beat this team as a whole. Nebraska did win 3 matches. We'll get into those here in a bit. But they are a tough team. They're 12-0 on the year. You look at some of the teams they've faced this year. They beat Oklahoma 45-0. Some other, Wyoming 40-7. That was their closest duel before Nebraska. Wyoming, this was in Laramie, Wyoming, Saturday, December 13th. The final score was 40-7. That was the closest duel to Penn State. After that, North Dakota State 46-0. Stanford 42-0. Rutgers 46-0. Iowa 32-3. Northwestern 51-0. Indiana 48-0. Maryland 51-0. They were blanking teams in conference play. And Iowa's no slouch. And they still commandingly won. Nebraska, the closest team to duel them this year. Penn State has and Ohio State is next Friday, or 2 Fridays from now, February 13th. That'll be a big one that everyone will circle on their calendar in Big Ten wrestling. But Nebraska, obviously, winning three bouts against a team that's of that caliber is tough to do. But you want to face the best of the best. And the Big Ten wrestling gives you that opportunity to face the best of the best. And so far, Iowa, even before Iowa and Ohio State weekend, they had Minnesota. You had Oklahoma State, North Carolina earlier in the year. They faced Ohio State at national duels and built off that compared to how they fared against the Buckeyes later in the year. They have been able to face the best of the best. They have lost duels, yes. As a group, yes. But they've been able to build that momentum. And the schedule only gets lighter, you could say, from now, just because, but every wrestling duel's tough. No matter the opponent, it's all tough. There's the mental side of it. There is the fatigue part of it. There's a lot that goes into it. So Nebraska national duels faced Lehigh, Michigan, Ohio State, and Oklahoma State back in November. They had Missouri, in St. Charles, and the home duels against North Carolina, Oklahoma State, and Northern Iowa, who are all ranked, and then Minnesota on the road, Iowa back home a week ago, in Ohio State, and then Penn State. So that was the meat of the schedule, and they've lost 3 straight duels, but they've all been competitive. Penn State has dominated each of the duels this year. Pretty much they've been in, and a 26-12 looks a lot better than a 45-0, not getting a single point on the board. But that is where we are. Nebraska next in action is on Sunday, February 8th, back at home for their final duel of the season at home, as Nebraska will face Northwestern at 1 o'clock on February 8th. After that, Nebraska wrestling has 3 straight road contests to close out regular season play. It'll be Friday, February 13th, the same night as that Ohio State-Penn State duel. They will be at Illinois, and then 2 days later, Sunday, February 15th, at Indiana, and then the closeout regular season play, February 21st, at Utah Valley. So the schedule does get a little lighter, but you gotta stay healthy. You're getting to the inching toward postseason play. It's in the rearview mirror. You gotta be your best, continue to be the best, continue to improve, make weight. There's a lot of factors that go into it, and there's never a down week. There never is, especially in conference play. So that is the month of February for Nebraska wrestling. After that, those 4 duels will go by very quick. Just this time of year, there's a lot that goes into it. And then after that, the Big Ten Wrestling Championships, Nebraska will make the trip back to University Park at the Bryce Jordan Center, as Penn State is the host for the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. It will start on March 7th. And then 12 days later, the Nationals in Cleveland, Ohio at Rock Arena, where the Cleveland Cavaliers play the NBA team. That is where the 2026 NCAA Wrestling Championships will be held. It should be a fun time. It's going to be quick. Like March 19th will be here before we know. March 7th will be here before you know. Those are going to be some fun events for Cornhusker Wrestling. The Big Ten is stacked. There are going to be a lot of really good matches throughout, not just Nebraska, but you get to see Iowa, Ohio State, Penn State, Minnesota, Nebraska. There are so many really good teams in that conference. There's obviously some teams who don't have wrestling in the conference, be in Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, the new teams who have joined, but they have other sports that are not wrestling. So that is why they do not have it. Maybe one day they do, but still, you have a solid chunk, I'd say about 14 teams with a wrestling program. So it is a pretty stacked competition there. And then the nationals are what you expect them to be. So you look at that. That is Saturday. That is what happened on Friday. Saturday, obviously, I mentioned gymnastics. The men are at Ohio State here in about 90 to 100 minutes. That starts up in Columbus, and the women's gymnastics team at 3 o'clock over at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. If you have no plans, go on out. It's a quick drive. The weather, it is a little chilly, but the roads are fine. Roads are fine. It's a little chilly, but gymnastics indoors, and they would like your support. And you can go watch gymnastics. Nebraska facing off against the Buckeyes, 3 o'clock at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. That is what's going on today around here in Lincoln. Couple other things for tomorrow. Tomorrow is also a very stacked day for Husker athletics. You have, from the morning, men's tennis is back. They got a win up in Lubbock, or down in Lubbock, I should say, against the Red Raiders. Now they're returning home at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Nebraska facing Air Force of the Sid Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. So back at home, the Huskers men's tennis program in action starting tomorrow morning. But that's not only tennis action you will see tomorrow, as the women return home as well. They are at Kansas today. They are coming back. They're going to face North Dakota at 1 o'clock. But not only that, they are going to be, they have a double duel. They're facing UMKC, University of Missouri, Kansas City at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So you have 3 different tennis duels taking place tomorrow in the heart of Lincoln. That's just one sporting athletic program that's in action tomorrow. There are plenty of things going on. After that, you have that, the men's tennis at 10, 1, and 5. And then the men's basketball's at home at Pinnacle Bank Arena tomorrow. We'll get into that in the next segment. Nebraska men's basketball back home after their first loss of the season. They are hosting Illinois in another top 10 matchup. Fred Hoiberg, they asked him about what's the biggest game, and he basically said the short answer, our next game's our biggest game. The next game. What's next is pretty much their motto. What's next for Nebraska basketball? What's next for us? What's our next challenge? Because no games are gimmies, especially in the Big Ten basketball conference where there's so much competitive from top to bottom. Even like a Penn State hung with Michigan. Penn State, obviously, the record shows that they are not the top of the Big Ten conference, but they can hang with the best of the best. Nebraska trailed Indiana, came back. There's going to be a challenge every night in the Big Ten basketball conference, and that is one of them. So that is tomorrow, 3 o'clock, whiteout. It sounds like whiteout at PBA at Pinnacle Bank Arena, 3 o'clock start. That should be a fun one. Illinois obviously out for some revenge. We'll talk a little bit about that in the second segment. But Illinois in town, Illinois, Nebraska. Other than that, there is women's basketball also tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. So the Sunday, Super Sunday for Nebraska athletics continues as the Nebraska women's basketball team's up in Columbus as well, as they're going to be facing the Buckeyes at 5 o'clock. Another ranked opponent for the Cornhuskers, as Bert Prince is coming off a 28-point game high scoring as Nebraska beat Northwestern the other night to get kind of back on track. They lost a couple games, Wisconsin, Michigan State, UCLA over the course of the last couple of weeks, but they beat Illinois and Northwestern at home to get kind of back on track, improved to 16-5 on the season. And now they're going to be on the road against another test against the Buckeyes at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, Ohio State, Nebraska women's basketball. If Nebraska can come away with that win, you're just kind of right back on track. You got to build that resume. They have struggled against ranked teams so far this year. They not really struggle, but they just have, if you look at the box score, they've lost a lot of those ranked games. They just need to find a way to win those games. So the Michigan State game came out in the end. UCLA was UCLA. UCLA is one of the best teams in women's college basketball this year. They are going to be a favorite on a lot of people's brackets to make the Final Four. Iowa was another close one. Just the ball didn't roll away. Wisconsin a couple weeks ago didn't roll your way. Those are kind of the ones that you want to get a road conference win against a ranked opponent, and this would be a great opportunity for Nebraska women's basketball to get that. But yeah, it's a stacked Sunday. That is a really good Sunday slate. So tomorrow, not only that, but tonight you have gymnastics at 3 o'clock down at Bob Devaney. Then you have Sunday, you have tennis action starting at 10 a.m. in men's, women at 1 and 5 for tennis, men's basketball at 3 against Illinois, and then women's basketball at 5 on the road in Columbus against Ohio State. So that is a Nebraska Athletics Super Sunday, is what I would label it as. So we're going to go to break. We'll talk a little bit more about that Nebraska men's basketball game that's coming out tomorrow against the Illinois Fighting Illini. They've been rolling since that loss to the Huskers back in December. We'll talk a little bit about that right after this here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA TG professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th, Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Get back on track. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $15,500 for their time. Study includes 1 3-night stay, 1 2-night stay, and 26 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. 93.7 The Ticket. Ticket Weekends here. Nick Whyman with you until the top of the hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, 1040 O Street. 402-464-5685. The Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or also watching on Allo Channel 961, chime in here. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Nebraska men's basketball, obviously coming off their first loss of the season to the Michigan Wolverines earlier this week. Even in a loss, you can take something from that. Down-ranked Mass due to illness, who was allegedly in the ER per Coach Fred Hoiberg. Man, I cannot talk this morning. But it was for dehydration. But after that, then on top of that, you're missing Braden Frager, who got hurt during the Washington game. So you're missing two key vital parts of your team offensively, and yet you only lose by 3 points to a team that's been ranked in the top 10 for a majority of the season. And Nebraska was not going to go undefeated. We kind of figured that the Cornhuskers were going to lose a game at some point. It's hard to go undefeated in college basketball in general. Very, very hard, but you learn things from when you lose, too. I think sometimes when you lose, you learn more than from when you win. So Nebraska 20-1 now in the season, suffering their first loss, but also suffering their first loss in conference play on top of that. But another opportunity is here as Nebraska will face Illinois tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Pinnacle Bank Arena between Nebraska and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. It should be a fun one. Nebraska's played 5 of the last 7 games on the road. Number 5 in the nation. And this is a rematch from earlier this year. It is a rematch. If people remember, earlier in December, Nebraska went up to there. It snowed and it was not great weather up in Illinois, and yet Illinois had a really good turnout for their game when they played the Huskers on a Saturday. Back and forth game. Stojakovic makes a 3 to tie the game. About 15 seconds ago, Hoiberg dishes it out. Jamarcus Lawrence 3 wins the game and gives Nebraska. Nebraska at the time was just cracked the top 25 and was still undefeated. And at that point, everyone was like, oh, this is probably the game where Nebraska comes back down to reality, is what most of the experts thought. Nebraska rose to the occasion, won that game, and kept winning, and kept winning, and kept winning. And here they are. 1 loss, 20-1, ranked top 10 in the nation still. It'll be a big one. Nebraska basketball, it's hard to get tickets for these games. These games are hot commodity, pretty much a sellout. Whiteout game tomorrow at Pinnacle Bank between these two teams. It should be a rowdy atmosphere. It should be a fun one because it is just a crazy situation where Nebraska's top 10, talking about where this team's pretty much already a lock for the NCAA tournament. Usually at this time of year, we're usually talking about the bubble watch, and you have to win these games in that game. Nebraska's kind of already has enough quad 1 wins, has enough of a resume to say, hey, we belong here. But now it's about getting the number 1 seed, because 1 loss is not going to derail that. Couple losses, maybe, because it's tough to get the 1 seed. You have teams like Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn. Those teams are good. Nebraska's got a good resume, though, and plays in a really good basketball conference. They may be fine. So tomorrow's game against number 9 Illinois will be the 3rd top 10 matchup in school history for Nebraska basketball. And the 2nd this week, as they played number 3 Michigan on January 27th. And then obviously you have the game tomorrow on February 1st. So that's 2 of 3 top 10 matchups in both teams being ranked in the top 10 in Nebraska ball history. The only other one came on February 26, 1966, between number 8 Nebraska against number 6 Kansas. So before this season, they only had that one. Now there's been 3, and 2 of them in the past week. Crazy times. But it's the 4th ranked matchup for the season for the Huskers, including the win out in Illinois. Illinois was ranked 13 at the time. Nebraska was ranked 24. Nebraska won that game 83-80 on December 13th. And they beat Michigan State 58-56 when Michigan State was number 9. And then they beat the Spartans, and then they lost to the Wolverines. So this is the meat of the schedule. They have played the top teams in the Big Ten. Majority of their schedule has been against the top teams right now in the Big Ten standings. And things don't change after Sunday. It is a tough time because you're playing Purdue coming up too, who have lost. They've struggled a little bit. This is also Nebraska has now spent 4 weeks in the top 10, matching its longest top 10 streak in school history, which was in February of 1966. So this continues to be a historic feat for the Nebraska men's basketball program. They continue to do it and continue to find ways to win games. And has it been pretty at times? Indiana, no. There's been games against New Hampshire and stuff like that, whereas again, Oklahoma in a neutral site game, K-State, and they found ways to win close games and been able to just get a W in the W column. The Illinois is going to be out for some revenge after how they suffered their loss up there in Champaign earlier this year. But to look at the schedule so far for Illinois 18-3 on the season. Their losses so far are to Alabama earlier in the year in a close game, and to UConn, who both are ranked in the top 15, and then Nebraska, who was 23 at the time, not 24. They were number 23 at the time, and an 83-80 loss on December 13th. Since that loss, though, to the Cornhuskers, Illinois has not lost a game. They have won every single game since. Beat Missouri, beat Southern, beat Penn State, beat Rutgers, defeated Iowa, defeated Northwestern, beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers, beat Maryland, beat Purdue, and beat Washington. They've won 10 straight games since that loss back in mid-December to Nebraska. And they are rolling with momentum into tomorrow as well. Illinois' last road game was last weekend, which was one of the notable games across college basketball that took everybody by storm. Nebraska obviously won their game last week when we were here on Saturday. Nebraska beat Minnesota, but later on that weekend, Illinois at 11 at the time beat number 4 Purdue 88-82. They went up to Purdue and beat them. In this game, Keaton Wagler, a freshman guard, scored 46 points by himself to lead the way for the Fighting Illini to take down the Boilermakers. 46 points, 13 of 17 shooting, added 11 free throws. That is a wild number. 46 in 39 minutes. So he only sat for a minute, give or take, probably a breather between a commercial timeout or something. But 13 of 17, he was just efficient as can be. Rest of his team, the only one other scorer in double figures. And outside of that, not a whole lot, but still a win's a win. And it was 88-82 Illinois beating Purdue. The Fighting Illini are, they caught fire against Purdue. One guy caught fire pretty much. And 46 points is hard to stop somebody when they're doing that. But they won that game, and then they played Washington, where they won 75-66 the other day on January 29th. Wagler in that game scored another double-figure game of 22 points to lead the way. So he's been the guy. He has scored over 60 points in 2 games. So we know Price Stanford's hot. This guy's scorching. So tomorrow's game should be a fun one. I'm excited. I think everybody else is excited. That'll be a game that everybody kind of circles and plans their week around. Because tomorrow, there's no NFL on. There's been conference football, conference championships were last weekend with the Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks, Rams. That kind of, the NFL is always going to take center stage away from other sporting events just due to its popularity. That's not going on tomorrow. There's no Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl games are now on Tuesday night of next week. So there is no National Football League on the agenda for Sunday for the first time in weeks. As I mentioned off the top of the show, it feels like it was just week 1 of the NFL season, but that is no longer the case. And college basketball start taking the weekend spots going forward. Obviously, the Super Bowl is next week between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. But for the next couple months, this is where college basketball starts to ramp up. You know, a lot of people will pay attention to Nebraska, rightfully so. They are the hometown team here in Lincoln, in the capital city. But this is when people start to pay attention to other games. There's some marquee games like today. There are a lot of really good games across college basketball that are going to be notable to watch. As of right now, we can go through some of the scores before we go to break here. Let's go through some of the ranked teams. We can look at them. Duke right now playing on the road against Virginia Tech. Duke is up 13 right now. Cam Boozer with 11 points for the number 4 seed Blue Devils. Houston beating Cincinnati 27-15 early in the first half. Texas Tech is down with 3 minutes to go in the first half to Central Florida. Texas Tech currently ranked 11. And then Clemson, who's ranked 22nd in the AP poll, is up 12 in the first half on Pitt. But there's a lot of, like, Arizona's on the road against a rival in Arizona State. Arizona State 11-10. However, it is a rivalry game. They are the Sun Devils and the Wildcats is a rivalry, but Arizona is one of the 2 remaining undefeated teams. Nebraska obviously was the 3rd going into earlier this week, but dropping that game in Ann Arbor. It is Arizona and Miami, Ohio are the 2 undefeated teams left in NCAA D1 basketball. Some other notable games, BYU and Kansas. BYU and Kansas 13. BYU Cougars and the 14 seed Kansas Jayhawks around 3 o'clock. That'll be a marquee game right there between the Jayhawks and the Cougars. And Arkansas, Kentucky later tonight. It's 5:30. And then the 2 late ones at 7 o'clock. UConn is in the state. UConn is in Nebraska. Number 2 UConn playing at Creighton. Creighton's got to try to find a way to stop them. UConn, it's the Dan Hurley's team are just rolling, and they are one of the teams that continues to just impress. They're number 2 in the nation, the Huskies. Dan Hurley's got a program going on there. And then the nightcap later tonight, Gonzaga, number 6 in the nation, right behind Nebraska in the rankings, playing St. Mary's. When those 2 West Coast Conference teams always match up between St. Mary's and Gonzaga, over the years, it's always a good game. That is a game that I would keep my eye on if you are a night owl, because when Gonzaga and St. Mary's meet on the hardwood, it is a one to watch. So keep your eye out on that one. The college basketball starts to really take center stage. Michigan State last night was really fun. I saw the video of Dusty May going out there sitting on the bench and the student section kind of chirping him a bit, but it was all fun and games, and that's a big rivalry between the Spartans and the Wolverines. So we're going to go to break. We'll come back, wrap up this hour before we get you into your afternoon slate here on 93.7 The Ticket. Nick Whyman here, Ticket weeknights.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road.
It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year's savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up. And we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Ticket Weekends. Nick Whyman with you here on 93.7 The Ticket for one final thing. I said Ticket Weeknight. The intro says Ticket Weeknights. We don't have a Ticket Weekends intro, but I've been here on Ticket Weeknights for most of my days here. So I said Ticket Weeknights before the break, and I sat here and said, I said weeknights. It is a weekend. Weeknights, weekend, whatever it is for you. Whatever floats your boat. That's what happens when you're so used to being here on evenings, and now you're here on Saturday mornings. You got to kind of adjust your schedule and what time of day it is. I should know when the sun's beaming through the mirror and the windows here in our studio here at 1040 O Street. 402-464-5685. We talked about Nebraska's stacked weekend of Husker athletics. A lot going on, especially last night with wrestling, gymnastics taking center stage today over at the Bob Devaney. 3 o'clock, Nebraska, Ohio State women's gymnastics going on. The men up at Ohio State starting in just over an hour down there in Columbus. Tomorrow, tennis starting at 10 a.m. Nebraska Air Force as a women's have a double duel tomorrow with North Dakota and UMKC. And then you have men's basketball at 3 against Illinois, and the women playing in Columbus against Ohio State at 5 o'clock. So a lot going on. We have a couple minutes here. I wanted to share a little bit of sports, I guess, breaking news in a sense. Motorsports are going on, starting to pick up with the weather going around, spring coming up soon. NASCAR season kicking off, the Daytona 500s in a couple weeks down there in Florida. However, they're having a cookout clash at Bowman Gray and Winston-Salem, North Carolina this weekend to exhibition race before they begin their season. However, they're rescheduling. They were supposed to have some races today on Saturday, the big one on Sunday after all the heat races. However, they've rescheduled the clash to Monday, February 2nd at 5 o'clock now because of winter weather in North Carolina, in the North Carolina area. Per a release, the decision was made on a difficult weekend travel conditions with an abundance of caution for race fans in the community and the North Carolina region. That means everything will now happen on Monday. They originally postponed everything on Saturday. They'll push it to Sunday. However, now everything is being pushed to Monday now, just to accommodate and because they're supposed to get snow and everything. Practice and qualifying will take place on Monday morning, and the last chance qualifier exhibition will be at 3 o'clock, which also will be broadcast, obviously, and that will feature the 23 drivers. NASCAR has revised the class schedule twice because of weather, initially moving practice and qualifying from Saturday to Sunday, as I previously said. The forecast for today is supposed to be about 3 to 5 inches of snow with the high temperature of 21 degrees. The feels like is even lower than that. It's kind of like what we're dealing with here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. Sunday's weather is sunny skies with a high of 30, and that's still too cold for them. And the clearing the snow is too difficult for them as well at that point. So that is a issue to begin with. Outside of that, then they are Monday's forecast there is gonna be up to 38, so above freezing at the time. So I guess you got that. I guess. So that is quite the weekend. It wouldn't be racing season without weather playing a factor. So first serve coming up here at the top of the hour. After that, chopping up with Chubbs to wrap up your Saturday here, and then we'll have some college basketball on the air for you. It's an exciting Saturday. It's flown by. I enjoy these Saturday mornings. We had Business Builders earlier. Todd Euler, obviously, out in Florida. He couldn't make it in, but we played one of his replays. I filled this hour, and we'll have first serve coming up, and then wrap it up with chopping up with Chubbs. We have a nice little slate, all-star stacked slate here. So, Nick Whyman, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Concrete industry